On April 2, 2026, the national highway in West Bengal's Malda district was paralyzed by a 9-hour hostage situation. The crowd throwing stones consisted of local teachers, farmers, and shopkeepers, ordinary citizens with no criminal records, who had reached a state of total desperation. Their desperation stemmed from a special intensive revision, or SIR. During this period, 61 Lakh names were struck from the voter rolls entirely. 60 Lakh others were trapped in a new category titled suspected voters, leaving their democratic status in a state of indefinite suspension. Combined, these figures mean that 1 in every 6 voters in the state was affected by the purge. In a typical household of 6 adults, statistical probability suggests at least one family member would lose their ability to vote. This systematic removal was the result of an untested software algorithm. The Election Commission deployed this automated filter to screen the state's 7 crore voters, despite having no data on the software's accuracy or potential for malfunction. By replacing human administrative oversight with an automated sorting system, the state removed the traditional checks and balances meant to verify a citizen's eligibility. The software's matching criteria are extremely rigid. It cross-references current lists against paper rolls from 20 years ago. A single character difference, such as spelling Mohammed with a U instead of an O, triggers an automatic flag that can lead to suspension. The algorithm also flags entries based on age gaps. If a decades-old clerical error on a paper record shows a father-son age difference of less than 15 years, the system automatically classifies that voter as suspected. Verified citizens with documented histories are not exempt from these errors. Mohammed Dual Ali, a decorated Kargil War veteran, found himself on the suspected list despite holding official military service records that prove his status. Even members of the judiciary were affected. Justice Shahidullah Munshi, a retired judge of the Calcutta High Court and current chairperson of the West Bengal Waqf Board, discovered his name had been deleted, while his wife and son were marked as suspected. The list of flagged voters also includes Richa Ghosh, a World Cup-winning cricketer for the Indian women's national team. Beyond the technical glitches, reports indicate that election officials used unofficial channels to enforce these removals. Instructions were reportedly sent via WhatsApp rather than official legal gazettes, directing staff to mark flagged voters as absent before the legal deadlines for verification had even passed. The use of unofficial communication to enforce software errors effectively bypassed the legal safeguards intended to prevent the mass disenfranchisement of legitimate citizens. The stated justification for this revision was border security. Political leaders argued that illegal Bangladeshi immigrants were populating the border districts and that a mass purge was necessary to clean the electoral rolls. The Election Commission's handling of the resulting data was highly restrictive. They published the final lists as non-searchable 228-megabyte PDF files secured behind captchas and watermarks to prevent any external audit or automated data analysis. To audit these numbers, data journalists at Alt News manually digitized over 35,000 voter records from 558 of these PDF files, creating a searchable database that allows for a demographic breakdown of the purge. This chart shows the percentage of unmapped voters, those whose names couldn't be traced back to 2002. In Muslim-majority constituencies like Damkal and Harihar, these numbers are among the lowest in the state, often falling below 1%. However, in districts populated by the Matua community, Hindu Dalit refugees who migrated from Bangladesh, the unmapped voter rate spikes to nearly 10%. This data contradicts the claim that border area infiltrators were the primary drivers of the purge. The digitized records also show that the suspected category is applied disproportionately. In Kolkata Port, a district with a 50% Muslim population, Muslim voters account for 82% of the suspected list. The audit suggests that the official narrative of border security is not supported by the numbers. The data shows that the automated filtering system disproportionately flagged specific minority demographics for removal. The impact is highly concentrated. This heat map shows 42% of suspected cases are in just 3 specific districts. These districts were won in 2021 by extremely narrow margins. The number of deleted voters here is large enough to potentially reverse the election results. Parallel to these deletions, a surge of new names is entering the list. Thousands of Form 6 applications, the standard forms used for new voter registration, are reportedly being submitted in massive bulk to add out-of-state residents to the rolls in these same narrow-margin districts. By removing specific demographics in concentrated areas and simultaneously adding new names from outside the state, the outcome of an election can be determined before the first ballot is cast. This process sets a precedent for how elections can be managed through automated systems and opaque administrative orders. If these methods go unchecked, the voting rights of citizens in any state could be subject to similar risks. Of the millions of citizens affected, only 2 have received a formal tribunal hearing to date. This massive backlog has brought the issue before the Supreme Court of India, which is scheduled to hear the appeals regarding these mass deletions. It is essential for voters to verify their own status. You can check the Election Commission portal to see if your name appears on the booth-wise lists. If your name is missing or marked as suspected, you can file an official appeal with your local district magistrate. The right to vote is the primary mechanism of a citizen's power. Protecting it requires constant vigilance against automated errors and opaque administrative procedures.